Good morning, students. I am Mrs. M. Teresa Nirmala from the Department of Mathematics. Today we are going to see about the forces acting at a point. First, let us see their definition of resultant and components. If F1, F2, F3 and so on are the forces acting on a body, and if a single force R can be found whose effect on the body is the same as that of all the forces put together, then the single force R is called the resultant of F1, F2 and so on, and F1, F2 are called the components of the force R. Now, coming to the simple cases of finding the resultants. If P and Q are two forces acting in the same direction, then their resultant is P plus Q, which is acting in the same direction. If P and Q are the two forces acting in the opposite direction, their resultant is P difference Q, and it acts in the direction of the greater force. So, when P and Q are inclined to each other, what will be the resultant? This can be given by the parallelogram of forces. Now let us see the statement. If two forces acting at a point be represented in magnitude and direction by the sides of the parallelogram drawn from the point, their resultant is represented both in magnitude and direction by the diagonal of the parallelogram drawn through that point. So let us draw the diagram. Take two forces P and Q to act at a point A, and it is represented in magnitude and direction by the straight lines AB and AD. Now complete the parallelogram DAB. So P is the force acting along AB and Q is the force acting along AD. So their resultant is R, which is acting along the diagonal AC. So in vector notation it can be written as AB plus AD is AC. Now coming to find out the analytical expression for the resultant of two forces acting at a point. So the same diagram with the P to be acting along the line AB and Q to act along the line AD. R is the resultant acting along the line AC, and alpha is the angle between the two forces P and Q, and phi is the angle made by the resultant with the force P. So draw CE perpendicular to AB. From the right angle triangle CBE, find out what is sine of angle CBE, which is nothing but sine alpha. So from this we will be getting CE equal to Q sine alpha. Similarly, from the same right angle triangle, find out what is cos alpha. From this we can find out BE as Q cos alpha. Using these two in the resultant, R square is equal to AC square. AC square can be written as AE square plus CE square, and AE can be written as AB plus BE the whole square. By substituting AB as P and BE as Q cos alpha and CE as Q sin alpha, and by expanding this we will get the magnitude of the resultant as R is equal to square root of P square plus 2PQ cos alpha plus Q square. Now coming to find out the direction of the resultant, from the triangle ACE, find out what is tan phi, which is nothing but CE by AE. Already we have got the values of these two. So from this we will get the direction of the resultant. Now we are having the three corollaries. What will happen if P and Q are at right angles to each other? That means when alpha is 90 degree. Substitute the value of alpha as 90 degree in the magnitude of the resultant and the direction of the resultant by substituting alpha is equal to 90. In this case, the parallelogram becomes a rectangle. Now coming to the corollary 2, if the forces are equal, that means when Q is equal to P, we can find out the magnitude and the direction of the resultant. In this case, the parallelogram becomes a rhombus. Now the corollary 3 is R is greatest when cos alpha is greatest. That means the value of cos alpha is 1. That is alpha is equal to 0. What do you mean by alpha is equal to 0? That means there is no angle between P and Q. But what will happen to Q? Then in this case the forces P and Q, they will act in the same line and in the same direction. In this case our resultant is P plus Q. If when similarly, R is least when cos alpha is least. That means the value of alpha is 180 degree. 180 degree means the forces P and Q, they will act in the same line but in the opposite direction. So in this case our resultant is P difference Q.